Dear students and learned colleagues, this video lecture is about platforms and sensors and electromagnetic radiation used in the remote sensing. There are different types of platforms: the ground-borne, airborne, and space-borne platforms. The ground-borne platforms are used on the surface of the earth. The cherry-arm configuration of remote sensing van on a tripod are the two commonly used ground-borne platforms. They have the capability of viewing the object from the different angles and are mainly used for collecting the ground truth for laboratory simulation studies. Second one, airborne platforms. Here we can use balloons or aircraft to gather the remote sensing data. Here the description of the balloons or then these are the commonly used aircraft. The Dakota, the ceiling height is 5.6 to 6.2 kilometers and its minimum speed is 240 kilometers per hour. Avra is the ceiling height of 7.5 kilometers and the minimum speed of 600 kilometers per hour. Then Cessna, the ceiling height of 9 kilometers and the minimum speed of 350 kilometers per hour. And Canberra, the ceiling height 40 and the speed is 560 kilometers per hour. These are the some special aircrafts are being used in the airborne for remote sensing operations in high altitude photography, Rockwell X and U2. Next, space-bound platforms. The platforms in space, that is satellites, are not affected by the Earth atmosphere. These platforms move freely in their own orbit around the Earth. The entire Earth or any part of the Earth can be covered by the specified intervals. There are two types of sensors: passive sensors and active sensors. The remote sensors are the instrument which detect the various objects on the Earth's surface by measuring the electromagnetic energy reflected from the sun, and it is emitted from the target. The sensors are mounted on the platforms discussed above. The active sensors use their own source of energy and Earth's surface is illuminated by this energy. And the passive sensors do not have their own source of energy. The Earth's surface is illuminated by the sun or solar energy. The reflected solar energy from the Earth's surface is received by the sensors. Photographic cameras is a passive sensors. The properties of the passive sensors are: it is relatively simple both mechanically and electrically, and it does not have high power requirements. At the same time, the wavelength where the natural remittance of reflected levels are low, high detector sensitive, and wide radiation collections are necessary to obtain. It depends upon the good weather condition. On the basis of the functions of sensors, it is divided into two categories: framing system and scanning system. On the basis of the technical component of the system, the sensors are classified into multispectral image sensor system, thermal remote sensing system, and microwave radar sensing system. Next, the electromagnetic spectrum. The first requirement for remote sensing is how the energy source is illuminated to the target. The electromagnetic spectrum is divided into different bands from microwave to radio and TV waves. The wavelengths regions of the important remote sensing are ultraviolet, visible, and infrared and microwave. Okay, here the bands are mentioning in the table, just to go through it. Thank you.